The RPO read Y flat play has taken over Madden lately, but today we're going to show how you can stop this out of any formation in the game. So that being said, let's not waste any more time and let's dive right into it.
All right, guys, we got this. Let's go gun white trip sweep. Close X go on one. Ready? Ready.
What's up guys, it's Pick'em with HuddleGG, and today we're going to show a universal way we can stop RPO read Y flat here in Madden by understanding how this play is designed and by using a rule we have to counter that design. Let's get right into it. And again, the play that people are going to be using on offense is going to be RPO read Y flat. The most popular version is out of Y off trips nasty, but there are some similar plays in other formations as well, but this is the one you'll see more often than not. Now, when they come out in this play, this does a really good job for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's an RPO read play, right? So with RPO read plays, they have three options for the offense where they can either hand it off, they can keep it with the quarterback, or they can throw it to either a bubble or, in this situation, this flat route to the tight end. Now, with RPO reads, you have this R icon above one of the defensive players' heads, and that messes up a lot of people's defense because they're expecting that guy to play the receiving threat on the play, and that's never going to happen. Okay, so the second reason why this play is so effective is because of the blocking you get to the right side of the screen here, because we not only have that outside receiver, but we also have that slot receiver there. So you have two receivers there to block, and it really makes this play hard to defend the same way that a lot of people would like to defend a basic RPO read bubble, because again, you add in that extra blocker there to the slot. So again, simply, if we would be on defense here and we come out, let's just say we're in quarters and we shade down to have a hard flat, we want that slot cornerback to really play aggressively down towards that tight end of the flat and take that away. What you're going to see is they could still run it against a look like this, where if we say hike, you're going to see 17 is going to target that slot cornerback, and they're going to still be able to throw this out to that tight end for some easy yardage. All right, so if we look at the replay here real quick, what you're going to see is, again, this guy here is going to target our hard flat, and obviously the outside guy is going to target the outside corner, but this guy is the most important thing here, where he's going to target that hard flat from the slot, and that's going to still allow them to throw this even though we had a guy playing out there hard to the flat. Okay, now there is a way that we can stop this universally out of really any formation in the game, and we're going to get into that. But the first thing you need to recognize on defense, and we talk about this with any RPO read, is no matter what defense you set up, you need to make sure the player that you want to defend the passing option or the receiving threat on this play is not the defender with the R icon above his head. Okay, so I could set up whatever defense I wanted on the back end. If my goal was to have that guy with the R above his head to defend the tight end, he's never going to do it. Okay, I'll show you what I mean here. So let's say that we come out and let's just say we show blitz, we shade down, and let's say that we man up that guy to the tight end. Okay, so we man up that guy to the tight end. We think, okay, the outside receiver is going to take the outside corner, the middle receiver is going to take the hard flat. So now our guy that's manned up is going to be able to take that tight end there. We're going to be able to shut it down just like that. The problem is it does not matter what you put the guy in there with the R icon above his head. He's only defending the read option portion of this play. So he's only going to defend the quarterback or the running back. So if we put him in a hard flat, if we man him up, it does not matter what adjustment we do to him. He is not going to defend the receiving threat on these RPO read plays. So I want to show you real quick. Again, we have him manned up to the tight end. It does not matter. They're still going to be able to throw that because he's going to do that shuffle, and they're still able to get to the outside because, again, in that specific defense, the player that we were trying to defend the tight end with was the read icon, and that's never going to work out for us. So before we do anything else setting up our defense, that is very important to understand. If you're trying to defend it with the read key, it will never work for you as the defensive player. Now, how can we make sure we do take away this play? And it's a very, very simple thing that we need to do, and it's by understanding what we're going to call the second defender rule. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to look to the side of the field they're running this to, right? So this right side over here. And what we're going to do is we're going to count the defensive players from the sideline in, okay? So this outside corner here is going to be the first defender from the sideline in, right? So he's going to be number one. And then the second one is going to be the slot corner here because these two guys are stacked on top of one another. And if they're stacked on top of one another, the game's going to recognize the guy closer to the line of scrimmage as the second defender in, okay? So Just to make it a little bit easier for you, if this safety was inside a little bit more, this is clear for you to see. Again, this is the second defender in. And the reason why this is so important is that tells us who these receivers to the right side of the screen are going to block. All right, so this outside receiver here, number 86, he's going to block the first defender in from the sideline. And then number 17 is going to block the second defender in from the sideline. Okay, so again, when we set it up like this and we have that slot corner as the second defender in, even if we put him on a hard flat, or if we manned him up to the tight end, whatever we wanted to do, he's not going to really be able to consistently stop it, because again, they have that extra blocker out there who's going to target him, and that's going to be easy for them to still throw this tight end out to the flat. Okay, so how do we get this to work without adjusting crazy, right? We don't want to have to change our defense around entirely. We don't want to have to move 5 different players to get this to stop. All we need to do is change who that second defender is from the sideline. Okay, so if we do the same thing we've been doing the entire time, where we show blitz and we shade down here in a cover 4 quarters look, all we need to do is move this safety out a couple of steps where he's now the second defender in from the sideline. And what that's going to do is it's now going to have that middle receiver, number 17, he's going to target the safety now rather than targeting our hard flat. And our hard flat is going to be able to get to that tight end of the flat very, very simply. Okay, so what you're going to see here is when they say hike, he's going to avoid that block every time, and he's going to be right there to make a play there on the tight end. Obviously, I would recommend clicking onto that so you can make the tackle yourself. But what you can see here is when we look at the replay, because we've switched who the second defender is from the sideline, that switches who 17 is going to target, and he's going to go up to that safety to block. He's not going to target the slot cornerback anymore. This allows him to just go to that hard flat like we want him to, and he's going to be in perfect position there to make a play on that tight end. Okay, so one more time, we are just going to show blitz. We're going to shade down, and we're going to move this safety out a couple of steps to where he's now that second defender in from the sideline. And then that's all you need to do. You don't have to worry about using anybody to the right side of the screen. You don't have to worry about bringing your user over here to do anything like that. You can stay in the middle, play a normal defense, and that guy is going to not get blocked time and time again, and he's going to be in perfect position to make a play on the ball. And you can actually sometimes even get a pick 6 on this if you can click on and make the play there as well. Now, like I said, this is universal. This isn't just we were just in nickel 2-4. You don't have to be in nickel 2-4 for this to work. So let's go to something like 3-3 Cub. And 3-3 Cub is actually one of my favorite formations to defend this style play out of, because of the outside linebackers alignments, because they have these outside alignments where they're outside of the tackles every time. They're going to be the read key, so I don't really have to worry about my slot corner or anybody else that I'm really trying to defend this flat route with being that read key. And you have nice protection up the front if they do try to run that inside zone with those 3 down linemen as well. Now, I always like to show blitz and shade down just because I like to get those safeties down a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage. And I do think that hard flat is going to be the best zone you can use to defend that tight end. And I'll show you how like a cloud flat could be there, but you can still get out leverage at times. Same thing with curl flats and even manned up. But the hard flat's going to be the best. You don't have to shade down your entire defense if you didn't want to. You could just put a hard flat on that player alone. But here in 3-3 Cub, again, we're going to show blitz. We're going to bring this safety out a couple of steps to where now he is that second defender in from the sideline. And now what you're going to see is in this look, again, that slot corner is going to be in perfect position there to make a play on that tight end. So you can see it works here in nickel 3-3 Cub as well. And this is going to be the same in any formation in the game, really. But like I mentioned, when it comes to the actual zone you put him on, we do like hard flat, because let's say that we put him on a cloud flat here. Right, so let's look at the last rep real quick and see when they throw this ball where our slot cornerback is at, right? So when they throw this ball, this again is a hard flat here on this rep. When they throw the ball, he's about 1.5 to 2 yards past the line of scrimmage, right? So he's right there, able to make a really aggressive play. You can see he actually goes for the pick himself here, isn't able to get it, and he's able to make that tackle. But when they throw that ball, he is about 1.5 to 2 yards past the line of scrimmage, and that's going to put him in a really good position to make a play on that. Now, if we put that guy on a cloud flat, as you can see here, what you're going to see is if we move this guy out, again, you still want to move him out to change the blocking, which that's still going to work the same. But what you're going to see now is when we throw this, they sometimes can get leverage to the outside. Now, that time, our DB still made a decent play on that, and they weren't able to get a lot. But if we look at the replay here, what you're going to see at times is this guy, again, that we want to defend it. If he's on a cloud flat, you see how he's 5 yards downfield now when they make the throw, 4.5 to 5 yards downfield. Sometimes he'll bump into this guy trying to get out here. And it's just a lot worse position for him to be in to defend that tight end. You can see how much further he is away from the tight end than when we had him on that hard flat. Okay, so that's the reason why we're using a hard flat rather than, again, something like a curl flat or a cloud flat, is just because of the aggression that he is going to play with to attack that tight end. Now, this is something that you could do in other ways as well, where if we wanted to, again, let's say that we show blitz and we could shade down and we bring this guy in, right? If we bring this guy in, it's going to still create the safety to be that second defender in from the sideline. But when we do it that way, sometimes it allows this guy, or it forces this guy to run into 17 when he's trying to make a play on the ball. And that's just going to make it a little less consistent for us. So that's why it's important that we move the safety rather than the corner. Even though if we move the corner, we're still going to get the blocking to change, right? But you can see how in that situation, he still is able to make a play. But if we look at the replay, you're going to see how much closer he is to running into this slot receiver, right? So if we move the corner in rather than the safety out, you can see how this guy has the potential right there to just run into him. He's not going to target him, but he does sometimes run into him, and it still opens up this throw here to the tight end. So it's very important that we're moving the safety. Again, it's just a quick shuffle to the outside. And if you want, you can just put that guy on a hard flat. You don't have to individually shade, or you don't have to shade down the entire defense. You can just put him on a hard flat on his own. But once we switch who that second defender is from the sideline, it's going to be an easy stop for us time and time again against this RPO read Y flat. And if you guys are looking to get even better at Madden, make sure to join our free Discord by going to HuddleGG/Discord. Have a great day.